As we approach Valentine's Day, we think about that date night out that's extra special. But our next guest says dynamic dates should be a focus all year round. We've got Matthew P. Hoffman here, Greenville relationship coach and national speaker. Welcome. Glad you're here today.
Glad to be back with you.
Yeah, people are scratching their heads wondering what they need to be doing this time of year. And you say any time of year, a dynamic date is one that creates real connection. There's action involved in this date, and it can strengthen a couple's bond. What's a dynamic date about?
Well, interesting. So the definition of dynamic, Margaret, is constant change, activity, and progress. So dates are not just about sitting next to your spouse and being in the same general vicinity, but it's about engagement and doing things that can deepen the connection that you have together.
All right. So any activity, that makes for something memorable. You know, you got out together, you did something, and there are plenty of dynamic dates where you get out and you're active in Greenville. You've explored several of them yourself.
We have. You can see this beautiful bowl that I painted at pottery. I do claim it as my own.
Your wife said it was not that bad.
She said, yeah, if we put chips and dip on it, you'll never see the stuff you did underneath.
You were going to get rid of that, and she said keep it because she probably enjoyed this time with you and wanted to keep the memento too.
We did. We had a lot of fun. She's a little bit better at it than I am.
Sure, let's goes without saying. What are some other date ideas for keep people active?
You know, I think that as long as you're engaging in doing something that's really super important. My wife and I both love to dance, and the Blind Horse Saloon, a local establishment, does free line dance instruction on Wednesday nights. So we went there, we knew nothing, it was welcoming, we had a lot of fun, and there are some pretty incredible dancers out there, but it's just about letting go and having that connection, and when you're on the same level together, you both don't know anything, you get to experience it for the first time together.
And when you come home from a night at the Blind Horse dancing, you've got new stories to tell. You've got new experiences you shared together. There's nothing boring.
Exactly. We created a time, and you're going to remember the memory and the time that you had together. So it's the activity that counts.
So for somebody wanting to set up a dynamic date, you'd ask them too, maybe they can kind of kill two birds, that you'd say, before you go on this dynamic date, is there an area in your relationship that you wish you could strengthen? What kinds of areas are you thinking about?
So we have 14 key relationship pillars, Margaret, that have to be present in all successful relationships. And it's not a bad idea to think about and talk to your spouse and say, what are some of the areas that maybe we could do better in? And then plan an activity that allows you to develop it together. It's fun to go on dates and let loose and just be carefree, but it's great when it also has an impact of strengthening the relationship and getting you a tighter bond and more intimate with the one you love the most.
Well, let's give people an opportunity to think about those pillars then. What are a couple of the main pillars that you'd want to point out to people?
Well, of the three most important of the 14 are what we call the 3 C's, and those are commitment, communication, and conflict resolution. We can always up the communication that we have in our relationship. I brought this backpack. This is a Go Ruck backpack. One of the favorite activities I love to do with my wife. It's kind of like a date, but we get to exercise. We put a weighted backpack on, and we go for a hike and a walk together. So we're getting exercise, but most importantly, we're talking. We're working on the communication. We're catching up and sharing things that we're struggling with. And there's a picture of my wife and I doing one of those. That's actually a Chimney Rock. And then that's a date that we went out recently, New Year's Eve in Boston together. And, you know, stepping out, having fun, and doing things that fill our tank and strengthen the relationship together. Yeah,
and I like that. If you think what we need to do is communicate more, you're going to go in the woods. You're going to spend some time in a peaceful environment.
Absolutely.
You know, and those other C's were?
Commitment, communication, and conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution, maybe you go to an adventure outing. Maybe you find your way out of one of those locked rooms.
Yeah, working together and talking. And conflict resolution is really about understanding. And if you can find understanding why your partner is feeling the way they're feeling, it allows you to appreciate their opinion and understand more, kind of getting in their shoes and being more empathetic.
Absolutely. And I like this one because I think this must depend on what your lifestyle is. But you say frequency of dating is important. I don't know if it's feasible for everybody to do once a week or what it is, but what do we consider when we talk about the importance of frequency of dating?
Oh, it's huge. I was talking to a gentleman just recently, and he said, oh, good thing I don't have to do that dating thing anymore. I'm married. I go, oh, you got to keep
missed the memo.
Yeah, I got to keep on dating your wife and having that fun and connection. You know, dedicating time is important. Putting it on the calendar, blocking it out without kids, without work, without distractions. We try to do it every week. Sometimes it's maybe every 10 days, but having those times to connect anchors you back together and allows you to remember why you love being with that person in the first place.
And you talk about filling that tank, getting out together. Concerts, you love going to Radio room, Smileys.
Radio room, Smileys, we the Rocks, all these places that we can experience music together. We like to dance, and we have those connections and let loose. So it's about understanding what your partner's love languages are and working to meet them through those fun activities together.
All right, well, that gives people lots of good ideas heading into Valentine's Day. Just tap into something important. The relationship has a lot of different gears. You can't spend time in just a couple of them.
We all have a favorite gear to communicate. We like to communicate in one way, but sometimes the situation with our partners requires us to change gears and do something different.
Excellent.
So learning all those different gears of how we need to show up for our partner in our communication is huge.
All right, reach out, be perceptive. Matthew P. Hoffman, thank you so much for being there.
My pleasure.
We've got your book on screen, and people can learn more about what you do on your website. They follow you on social media to find out how to consult with you. That information is on screen now. We've got it on accesscarolina.com.
Thank you.